All right, all right. Welcome back to Real Estate Bites, everybody. Thank you for joining me again. This is episode number 43. And today we're going to be discussing the county auditor and whether or not they owe you money. We're going to take a look at the auditor's website and a lot of the great information they have there, some of which you will be familiar with, some of which I'm sure you won't be. Before we get into the meat and potatoes, let's have our weekly laugh. So we're going to go on over here. I grabbed these memes from a Facebook group called Real Estate Humor. And let's take a look at this week. Oh, window treatments included. Daggum. Look at those things. And you know what? If you bring a stack of cheeseburgers, we might include the washer and dryer too. All right, enough of that. Quit being a jerk, Jonathan. Okay, so the county auditor is in charge of organizing and inspecting the county's finances. The county collects taxes from a various number of sources, and then they distribute that money. The thing that is most interesting to myself, real estate professionals, as well as the consumers at home is, their actual real estate, their specific real estate, the taxes that are assessed there, and how much their home is valued by the county, things like that. But we're going to take a look at the website. And in addition to looking at that, we'll look at a few other things that I found incredibly interesting. So let's go ahead and take a look at our county auditor's website. All right. So here you see the website. This right here, the search real estate tab, is where most people will spend their time. A lot of you guys are going to be very familiar with this. A lot of you guys probably have used this to take a look at your own taxes or real estate information. All right. See, apologize for that delay. Sometimes this thing takes a while to load up. So in here is where you would type in an address. If you don't know an address, you could search by the owner's name. Obviously, you're really getting into it if you're searching by the parcel number. But I'm going to enter the address for our office. There it is. This is Russell's North Ridgeville office. And here you can see it takes you to the parcel number, right? You can select different layers if you want to see an aerial view. That way you can have, you can take a look at the layout of the land. If you wanted to see some, the contours, if you wanted to see how the land around a certain parcel grades, you could add in some topographical contours and it'll show you elevations. You see 727.1, that is elevation. And so between this point and this point, you're dropping what? Roughly half a foot. So you can take a look at elevations by using this contours button here. Okay, I'm going to get rid of both of those to clean up the way it looks on the screen. So once you punched in the address, you can see it automatically brings this little window up here where it shows you the parcel number, the owner, the address, and you can click on this for the printable property report. Okay, so I'm going to do this. And then when you open up that property report, here is a good chunk of the public information regarding a specific parcel or lot, right? Shows you who the owner is, the location address, where the tax bill is mailed to, which if you're an investor and you're trying to seek the owner of a specific property, well, they may not live there and they may get the tax bill sent to a different address, and that might be where you want to send your letter of intent, right? They show the market land value, the building value, and the assessed total value. So this is what the county believes that this property is worth, and that is how they base their taxation of the property. It shows you down here exactly how the taxes are broken out, the annual taxes per year, and if there are taxes owed. Oftentimes you'll see mortgage information here. for the last sale, who the mortgage was executed to, that kind of stuff. There will be a sketch, conveyance histories, tax histories, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So great information there. If you go back to this page, obviously you can click on any one of these parcels and it's going to now pull up the same sort of thing where you can get property reports, right? Okay, so here's something else worth looking at. You see this here. Now, we've talked about this before on Real Estate Bites, but it's been a while. Survey before next transfer. This is important, especially if you're considering selling your home. You can see on this page, I mean, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 of these red indicating texts that say survey before next transfer. And what that means is that should you want to sell your property, the county is going to require a new survey done because they want to update the legal language of the deed. And that is what it says, from this point to this point, and then from this point over to this point. That's how it's to be, this is how they measure or identify the exact boundaries of the property. And sometimes they will accept some new language, and it's easy to do, but most often they are going to require a stake survey. They're going to require you to spend $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, depending upon the size of the property, the complexity of the legal language. I mean, you can see doing a stake boundary survey on this parcel here, -069, is going to be a lot easier than doing it here on -178 because of all the different turns and angles. I mean, that's a funky shape of a parcel right there. So that one is going to take more time, more effort, and cost more money. That said, if you want to transfer this property, sell this property, even if you just want to give it to somebody, in order to do that, in order for the county to accept the new filing and the new transfer, they want new language done. They're going to require a survey to be done on the property in order to transfer it. So take a look at your property. And if you see this, it's time to start saving your money for it or going ahead and getting it done, because should you want to sell it, and even if you don't want to sell it, if you want to bequeath this property to your children when you die, it's going to need to happen. And so if you don't want that headache to fall on your kids or whomever else you might give it to, donate it to, sell it to, go ahead and get that thing done. All right, enough of that. We're going to go back to the home page. All right, here we go. So that is what people are most familiar with, is that real estate property search. Here are some of the other things that are very interesting about this website and the information you can find on here, right? So again, let's go to this financial data tab here. The auditor is responsible for inspecting the finances of the county and then reporting on that. And so you'll see here, annual comprehensive financial data report, right? Go ahead and click that. Take a look here, guys. This is a 282-page document that breaks down all of the finances in the county. Where do the taxes come from? Where do they go to? And there's a narration about how they're collecting taxes, how it's been affected, where they are strong, where they're weak, what the plans are for tax money in the future, future projections, things like that. So, we're obviously not going to go through 282 pages, but if you go to page 33, here's a quick comprehensive breakdown of their financial position. And you can see how it changes year over year, right? If you go a little bit deeper in, now it starts to break down. This shows the change in net positions year over year, right? Gets a little bit deeper into the financial stuff on page 41. Now you really start to break down what the monies are, what the different accounts are, where they're coming from. And I mean, it's really, really comprehensive and very, very detailed. You can see page after page of financial reporting, and this is not what the entire 282 pages consist of. But a lot of it is exactly this. As you get deeper into it, they begin to explain what some of these things are, how these things are calculated, etc. So a ton of amazing information in there. Now, if you go back here, again, we went through financial data. That was the annual comprehensive financial report. A little further down the page, you see the popular annual financial report. So this one is not quite as deep, right? There's only 16 pages in this report, and it's they take what the county perceives to be the most important information, and they condense it into this popular report. This is really meant for the consuming republic, right? So that's what that is. Okay. Some more stuff that you find here in the pages. Dog licenses, right? You purchase that through the county auditor. You renew it through the county auditor. Settlement reports. This is where it really talks in detail about where does the money come from and then where does it go, right? Click here to access settlement reports. We want to look at 2024, right? So it talks here tax rate factors. It talks about non-business credit and owner occupancy rollback factors. So here's an interesting one: real estate and public utility. Here's the top taxpayers from real estate and public utilities. And number one here is American Transmission Systems. They own 69 parcels assessed at over $163 million, and that's what they're being taxed on. So American Transmission Systems is the largest taxpayer for property taxes in the county. Any guess on what American Transmission Systems is, what they do? I didn't know. I looked it up, of course. American Transmission Systems is the power lines. This is a subsidiary company of First Energy, and it's all the power lines and the land that they own throughout the county, distributing electricity to all of our homes and businesses. So they own the most land, or the most valued land, and pay the most taxes. All right. It goes a little bit deeper here. It talks about schools, city, villages, and townships. So as they collect the money, this talks about how it's distributed, et cetera, et cetera. So if you really want to dig into where the money's coming from and then where it's going, you'll find it here in the settlement reports. Now, to get to what the hook of this whole show, does the county owe you money? When I was playing around here, this was just a week or so ago, looking at this website, I saw this here, unclaimed funds. And I thought, well, what is that? And as I read down on the page, I realized, sometimes we pay more in taxes than is required. I mean, that's what the nature of your tax return is, right? The government steals all that money from you that you worked hard for. And sometimes they take more than they're supposed to. And that's what your tax return is. That's a lot of people see that as some sort of a bonus or extra income, post-tax, after filing your taxes. That's not what that is, guys. That is the money that the government is returning to you that you overpaid to the government. So they're taking a quarter of your paycheck, sometimes more, depending upon your tax bracket. That's a crazy amount of money that could be for your family. And I understand that taxes are something that, you need to pay if you want schools, if you want the roads to be kept up and things like that. But, every quarter when I write that check away, I want to vomit on my keyboard. Nevertheless, that's what your tax return is. It is money that you overpaid to the government. So that happens at a local level as well. And now right here, where you see this button, unclaimed funds, in the center of the screen, if I click that, it's going to take me to an Excel spreadsheet and I won't be able to share it. But when I clicked it previously, there are thousands and thousands of names, and it's broken up into two sections on the spreadsheet. The top section is those who have been paid back and the checks that the county wrote and how much they were for to people who went up here and filled out this affidavit for tax surplus form and sent it into the county to reclaim the funds that they paid extra. And then the second part is the list of thousands of people that the county owes money to, right? Now, clearly the county's not reaching out to all these people. You got to go and find it. So open that up, find the search bar, search for your name. I had to use, because I use a Mac here, I use the find button at the top, edit, find, and then I typed in my name. Unfortunately, the county doesn't owe me money, but I found a handful of clients of mine and reached out to them and let them know. And look, guys, there are accounts in here where the county could owe you money. There's between a couple cents, and I've seen them as high as $5,000 where people overpaid in property taxes. When you look at the spreadsheet, it tells you how much you're owed and exactly what department in the county owes you that money. Most of them are real estate taxes. Sometimes the auditor owes you a bit of money. Sometimes it's another county department. But nevertheless, go in here, take a look for yourself, look for your friends and family. Let them know if the county owes them money. Tell them where they can go here to grab this form, the affidavit for tax surplus, fill it out, mail it in, and get their money back from the county. Especially if there's if it's a couple bucks, who cares? If it's a couple $1,000s, you probably want that back, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I do not have statistics. This episode is pre-recorded. Right now, as you're watching this, I am somewhere in the Cincinnati area with my daughter. We are doing a college campus visit. Wish us luck. Until next week, I will record those stats so that we have them for posterity and comparison in the upcoming weeks. But until then, until next Friday, thank you guys for joining me. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. I love you, people.